Hello, it's Monday, February the 24th in the year 2025. God bless you wherever you may be. I pray that you're in good health and that the Lord is prospering you as much as it is possible to be prospered in this time of severe oppression and where everything is basically crumbling and falling down. I really hope that everything is going all right for you as you put your full trust in the Lord Jesus Christ. Welcome to Darkness is Falling, video number 377 in this series exposing the Jesuit Vatican shadow empire as the true cause of all revolutions, genocide, war, and deception for the last 500 years, and the one and only candidate for the fourth iron Roman beast system described trampling and crushing the nations in the prophetic books of Daniel and Revelation. Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you who regularly listen to these messages, and a warm welcome also to those of you who are newcomers to this ministry, and there have been just a few trickling in that I've noticed. So, welcome, and a big thank you to all of you who support what God is doing here with prayer and also encouragement and help with information. Things are getting more difficult, so I certainly appreciate that help. I'm not getting any younger, and things are definitely becoming more difficult online and in putting things together. So thanks for all the help. I appreciate it. Um, Once again, AI, if you want to call it AI, it's probably more like machine learning. There's a lot of hype about AI, but whatever they're doing with algorithms and whatever they're doing online with what they call AI is certainly becoming a bigger concern as the programs begin to interfere with my writing and research and access of information online. It is far more difficult now than it was 5 years ago. Um, AI is, or what I think is AI, or these programs, these nefarious programs they've created, um, uh, are being directed more and more, making my job more challenging. So, some of you have written to me and said that the same thing is happening to you, that communications are being obstructed or hindered or simply disappearing or being altered. So, pay close attention to what you're doing online and make sure that you double check when you send information or you send a communication because it may not be uh, it may not be received at the other end, and it may not be sent as you meant it to be sent. This is the problem. Everything is being tampered with, and deliberately so, in order to hinder truth and to cause confusion and chaos everywhere. Now, just a couple of things before I get started. As expected, Donna is breaking and inverting promises nearly every day. All manner of weird stuff happening around that wicked woman. And this is what we should expect. There should be no surprise about this, but of course, it always is a bit of a surprise the next time you look at what purport to be headlines. We have no idea what is real, people, anymore. Of course, things are happening, but it's not real, as in genuine. So, this is what you have to distinguish about our current reality. And going forward, it's going to get worse. uh, the Jesuits don't want people understanding fully what's going on. They don't want people communicating to each other the truth. They are hindering and disrupting everything. It's all about disruption and chaos and anarchy and nonsense. So this is what is making things more difficult. So please Pay close attention to what you're doing online and make sure that you are protected. Cover your cameras when you're not using them on your cell phone and your laptop. Cover those cameras. Turn things off when you don't need to use them so that you're not being monitored more heavily than what you need to be. But I can tell you that if you are pushing the truth online, that your IP addresses are being monitored and tracked in real time. There is no such thing as online privacy. And it's incredible how many people still think there is. There is not. No privacy. That disappeared with the first iPhone because the backdoor was built into iPhones, Android phones. It doesn't matter what phones, they all have a backdoor built into them. And that is one of the stipulations for creating new technology is that a backdoor must be built into it so that the Jesuits and their programmers have access. That's just the way it is, people. If you think otherwise, you are naive and you are ignorant of who runs this world and why they are doing what they are doing. Now, once again, we are watching, day by day, we are watching Jesuit Masonic problem, reaction, solution, inaction. That's what we're watching. This is what drives the news, which is not really news. It is propaganda. But this is what's driving it. This scenario of create a problem, drive a reaction, and then bring in your solution, which is no solution at all. It's simply a means to an end, right? A Jesuit end. So don't get caught up in the effects. Keep focused on the Roman cause behind the effects. Never forget this. Whatever is happening, these are effects, and they are caused by a prime cause, which is Rome, which is behind the scenes pulling all the strings. Now, the Jesuits are constantly using cause and effect to deceive people. It's one of their prime strategies for deception is this cause and effect thing. Trump and Musk are just effects that the Jesuits have put into play to cause even more effects like breaking promises and making statements that provoke anger and frustration. It is all planned and deliberate to hide the real world government system and to foment nationalism and militant aggression, even while leaders are working together secretly and following a Roman script to bring the whole system down. Excuse me. And it is coming down, people. Elon and Donna are working together and doing what they're doing because there is no more law. There's nothing stopping them from saying and doing whatever they want. Elon can send out emails to anybody he wants and tell them to prepare a memo explaining why they should keep their jobs. He can do this. There's nothing stopping him. They have absolute right under Roman law to do whatever they're doing because the Constitution does not exist. There's nothing stopping the people in what is called the American government from doing what they want. Nothing. And it would be wise of you to just understand this and accept it and not get all excited about what you're seeing happening in the news. So don't get caught up in all the effects. These people are going to do whatever they want to bring the system down and bring everybody into slavery. We're moving towards unity and oneness. And they have to bring everything down, slide everything together so that it happens. And of course, one of the big things is money, which we're looking at in this video. So, just a few other pointers here. Is the papal beast Francis dying? Or is he being taken out of the equation? Or is it all just faked? That's the big question. Excuse me. The Jesuits love killing popes when it suits their purposes. They have done it many times. You're not even safe if you're a Jesuit. Now remember that the end justifies the means. So if you or I or anyone else gets in their way of achieving their end, then they will use whatever means necessary to remove you, and that includes popes, and they've done it many times. So is Francis dying? I don't know. I don't know whether it's a ploy for more papal sympathy. I have no idea what's going on there. Um, uh, I never thought that this would happen, that he would die and be replaced by another, but it's very possible. I thought he was the last pope. That was my personal conviction, but he may not be. Just when you think you know the Jesuits, you find out you don't know them. They are so devious. Now, another point, the myth of American oligarchy. This has been pushed all over the internet. Oligarchy, 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 oligarchy. The Jesuits want people to believe that a bunch of billionaires are running America from Washington. This is a lie, a deception. There is no oligarchy controlling the USA or anyone else, any other papal province. There's no oligarchies. I'm seeing more videos claiming that Peter Thiel, former founder of PayPal, is and Elon Musk's friend, pal, crony, whatever, is the puppet master behind Donna and Elon. Now remember that I suspect that Elon also is a tranny. All these people are trannies. I don't think there's any real men at the top running any of these operations. I don't think so. More and more I'm convinced that these men are women, ugly looking women. And they've been put into that place on purpose because they are wicked to the core. They are absolutely wicked. The trannies already worship Satan as their God, and they will do anything they are told for money, wealth, fame, status. They're wicked to the core. So they'll do anything. And there is no oligarchies anywhere. This is pure nonsense. There is only one group of people ruling America, and that is the Jesuit order. And as puppet masters, they are never seen on the stage, rarely. Sometimes they make appearances for photo shoots with the president, but mostly they keep a low profile. The Jesuits are not an oligarchy. Go and read the definition of oligarchy. They are a fascist theocracy. Fascism is what rules the world. Roman fascism. Go and read the definition for what fascism is. It is a mixture of business and government, and it is rule from the top through the use of Roman corporations. That's what we're seeing taking place all over the world. That's what rules the show. Roman corporations under Jesuit control. There is no oligarchies. There's no family oligarchies. There's no any kind of oligarchies. Just billionaires out there doing their own thing. No, sir. And there's also no secret deep state shadowy figures pulling the chains. The only shadowy figures are the Jesuits. We know who they are. There's no secret to who's running the show if you really do your research and understand the times that we're living in and what the Bible is actually saying in prophecy. Another point, Walmart has pivoted to serving wealthy customers. Prices are going up everywhere and pushing people living on budgets out of the supermarkets. Think I'm kidding? Then maybe you haven't been shopping lately. That's why the price of groceries continues to climb. All these businesses are concentrating on wealthy customers who will take the mark and who will connect to the blockchain. Businesses are abandoning poor people, people living on a budget, people who are struggling. It's all by design. It's nasty, and yes, Satan is nasty. Does he want everybody to die? Yes. This is what you need to understand. You need to understand your enemy. Know your enemy. Now, finally, let me ask you a question. Do you believe anything that politicians, business CEOs, and MSM journalists tell you? If you do, then my question to you after the millions of lies that have been told to you and I is this: why? Why would you still believe what these media celebrities, what these politicians, what these CEOs tell you? They are all liars. And that is why they are where they are, and why you are, and why I am, why we are. Because we're not evil. They are evil. That's why they are where they are, doing what they're doing to you and I. Why would anyone believe anything that these people have to say? They have never kept their word about anything they have ever promised. Listen to them and pick out the little pieces of truth in amongst all the lies. That's what you're called to do. That's called spiritual discernment. Now, if you can't do this, if you don't understand what these people are doing, that they are playing you, deceiving you, then I don't know what to say. I don't know where you've been all this last 5, 10 years. Where have you been? Hiding under a rock somewhere. I don't know. But it doesn't sound like you've been on the great flat earth plane. So please use spiritual discernment when you're listening to any of these jokers online. Social media, news channels, whatever. Use spiritual discernment to understand what these people are saying and pick out only the little bits of truth that they must mix in with the lies. Okay, another point. Suddenly American gold reserves are news. Why? Why are gold reserves suddenly news? We never hear about gold except the price of it. And suddenly Trump and Elon are going to do a gold audit at Fort Knox. Well, that's a strange thing to do. I've never heard of it being done before. There's no good reason for it. So this is an indication that something big is coming. They are telling us with their stupid antics that everything's about to flip. And by the time I get through this video, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, also, next point, Reuters reported February the 3rd, 2025, the meme coin known as Trump was launched by the president on January 17 and quickly surged, reaching a peak of over 14.5 billion in overall market value by January the 19th, 2 days later, the day before his inauguration. See, had everybody fooled. $14.5 billion in 2 days. And since that time, it has slumped by 2/3. It was a total scam. Entities behind President Donald Trump's crypto coin have accumulated close to 100 million in trading fees in less than 2 weeks, according to estimates from 3 blockchain analysis firms. And that's a large windfall from a venture that has seen tens of thousands of small traders lose money. Tens of thousands of small traders have lost money. Now, the BBC stated on January the 23rd, 2025, Trump coin is now the 25th most valuable crypto coin with a value of around $8 billion, according to the website coinmarketcap.trump. And the team behind it own 80% of the coins. So in theory, they would make billions of dollars if they sold their shares and the price remained the same. First Lady Melania Trump, Melvin, launched her own meme coin on the eve of the inauguration, which now has a value of $700 million since slumping from $13 a coin to $2.70. But many meme coins have led to big losses for people investing in them. Now, this is where money is headed, people. Whether you like it or agree with it or not, digital currencies are now dominating the economic landscape more than what you or I know about. And I'm going to bring out some information in this video which is going to paint this picture very, very starkly. So as I've said before, in this video, I'm returning to the subject of money and what is happening to money today. Very, very important topic. I have not talked a lot about money in the last 5 years, but I have done videos, and I will give you those video numbers in a minute. Now, in particular, I'll be looking at digital money, meaning cryptocurrencies. Very few people seem to understand that money in its modern form, as bills and coins and cards and digital blips, is worthless unless it is gold. Only gold has true value or worth. Let me say it again. Only gold has true value or worth. But soon, even gold is going to be worthless. Now, fiat banknotes and coins and credit cards are worthless because they have no real material value. Money in all its forms is just a unit of exchange. That means that it only has a designated value if a second party says it does. If there is no agreement by a second party, then the money that you are holding in your hand is worthless. For example, if I take Canadian money to another country that doesn't agree to the value of that money, then my money is worthless in that country. Imagine if that was applied worldwide. Now, this principle applies to everything that can be bought and sold with some form of money. Now, because people believe the money has a certain value, magically, it does. If they don't believe it, magically, it doesn't. The value of money is based on faith and faith alone. When people refuse to believe in a form of money, then it ceases to have any worth. I cannot overemphasize this truth. Let me say it again. When people refuse to believe in a form of money, then it ceases to have any worth or any value. Now, this is an excerpt from what I wrote in video number 53, titled Beast Coin, Banking the Unbanked, Jesuit Magic, Money, and Sorcery. And this was posted November 2019, 5 years ago. And I wrote, and I quote, "Here is proof of the Jesuit threat of world domination in the words of Aloysius Fortis, 20th Jesuit Superior General, spoken to his assistants, including Johannes Ruthan, in the secret Jesuit council at Chieri in Italy in 1824. This is what Aloysius Fortis said, and I quote, "Dear brethren," he's speaking to the 6 assistants of the Jesuit general, "our weapons are of a quite different temper from those of the Caesars of all ages, and it will not be difficult for us to maneuver as to render ourselves masters of all the powers already so much weakened. We need fear no lack of soldiers. Only let us apply ourselves to recruiting them from all ranks and from all nations and drilling them into punctual service. But let us at the same time be vigilant that no one may suspect our designs. You well know that what we aim at is the empire of the world." Unquote. Now, when he says When he said we need fear no lack of soldiers, he is talking about Freemasons. He's talking about papal knights. He's talking about everybody in the secret societies that are being controlled by the Jesuits. They have no end of servants who are willing to climb the ladder and get their fame and fortune in this life alone. They do not care what they do to get this fame and fortune. They don't care. And that Satan knows this, and Aloysius Fortis told us way back in 1824, we need fear no lack of soldiers because they have plenty. 6 million or more Freemasons worldwide pulling all the strings, and the Jesuits in turn are pulling their strings. That's how it works. And I wrote, and I quote again, people, that threat will be complete when the Jesuit military order control all world finance through a centralized electronic money system and world religion through a Roman Catholic centralized ecumenical system. The temporal and spiritual power of the Pope will soon be absolute everywhere. We are getting very close to seeing that happen, unquote. Excuse me. Wintertime and endless problems with poison food. What a combination. So, we are getting very close to where I have been saying for years now we have been headed. Because cryptocurrencies are now a huge thing, and it's taken them some time to get here. That's why things have been moving slowly. Cryptocurrencies are a Jesuit weapon and are pure digital sorcery. Bitcoin was invented in 1996 by the Jesuits as a Trojan horse by which to infiltrate and control the system of value exchange and enslave mankind. Yes, 1996. A paper was written where Bitcoin, the concept of Bitcoin was proposed. Even though it never became a thing until 2009, we're talking about 1996. So they have been planning this for a long time. So it was a Trojan horse by which to infiltrate and control the system of value exchange and enslave mankind. Did you notice that this digital money system appeared anonymously in 2009, exactly 10 years before the COVID mark injections? It just suddenly appeared out of nowhere. If that isn't a red flag for you, then I don't know what would be. Anonymous is a Jesuit psyop, and so was Q, and so is Bitcoin. If you hadn't figured that out yet, then now you know, because I'm telling you. Before today, I didn't see clearly that the beast money came first and then the mark. We now have both the beast money and beast mark working in tandem. It just has not converged yet. It has not come together fully yet. That's where we're at. We're so close, people. I did not see this. The beast money was already here as Bitcoin, and that it was just waiting for the mark to be fully implemented so that they could fully converge and bring in full slavery. I saw it, but I didn't fully see it. So we now have both the beast money, Bitcoin, and beast mark, the injections, working in tandem. It is no surprise to me that the Jesuits have opted to launch both of these programs via their American kingdom under the control of the Image of the Beast United Nations World Government. Now, what is the false premise upon which cryptocurrencies have been founded? It is freedom. Freedom. Think of this word, freedom, and what it means. Very few people today understand what freedom is and what it actually means. This is the lie, the false promise that is being made to lure people into buying crypto. Freedom. You'll be free. Freedom is at the core of human desire, but it is a freedom that excludes God. And I'm talking about a humanist freedom. Freedom on man's terms leads directly to spiritual slavery. Now, I'm going to play a short 1 minute 25 video clip taken from the end of the first Matrix movie. This short message has been embedded in the brains of billions of people worldwide since 1999. There's another 666 year. 1996 and 1999 were both 666 years. Now, this message, this short video, is Humanism 101. You'll hear the same message coming out of the mouths of the people who are pushing the digital currency system into the mainstream. They don't even know they're saying it. They don't even know that they've been programmed. They don't even know that this message, this humanist message, is deeply embedded into their psyche. These people who are pushing the cryptocurrency agenda are succeeding beyond what most people are aware of. The message is freedom from the world money system matrix. And guess what? Everyone is buying into it without a thought. Now, please watch this video, and I'll see you afterwards.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
Now, I'm willing to bet that if you watched this movie more than 20 years ago, that you don't remember Neo ever saying this. Because I didn't. I'm also willing to bet that this idea embedded itself like a splinter in your mind, as Morpheus would say. And it has been festering there ever since. Neo symbolizes the Jesuits. Notice his long black priestly cassock or coat. He is the man in black speaking to the audience. Just imagine he is the Black Pope speaking. Neo, addressing the Matrix controller, says, I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders and boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you. And what is the key idea in this statement? Freedom. That's what. Freedom. A world without rules, controls, boundaries, borders is actually a world of dystopian, anarchic freedom. That, in reality, is no freedom at all. Now, we are now rapidly slipping into that dystopian nightmare, but it will have rules and controls, and no one will be free. No one. Once you are fully marked, you are a slave. Now that is the mocking irony in this statement about freedom. Satan and his Jesuits mocking the ignorant listener. When the current money system goes, then all choice and freedom goes with it. The beast will rule and control every marked soul completely, just as the Bible declares in Revelation. Now, where did this money problem originate, you may ask? For the benefit of those who do not know the history of modern money and how it became worthless, I have included here a short 5-minute, 39 video clip taken from a documentary titled, How Money Became Worthless. End of the Road. Created in 2014 and posted October 2024 on the Journeyman Pictures YouTube channel. I highly recommend watching the full-length 55-minute video documentary for anyone who feels bamboozled by this subject. Please watch that video. Well worth it. You will come away fully understanding what went wrong and why it was made to go wrong deliberately. Please watch the video, and I'll see you afterwards.
At Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, delegates from 44 allied and associate countries arrived for the opening of the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference.
Our story begins in 1944. With World War II coming to an end, the Allied nations met at Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, to create a new financial system which would stabilize the world once the war ended, with America poised to enter a golden age of prosperity. The U.S. dollar was chosen as the world's reserve currency.
The Bretton Woods system was created after the Second World War at the Bretton Woods Conference in New Hampshire. And rather than using gold as the means of exchange between countries, as was the case under the old gold standard, the dollar was going to be used. The dollar was chosen because back then it was as good as gold.
Under this new system, countries agreed to fix their currencies to the U.S. dollar, and the U.S. dollar would be tied to gold at a price of $35 per ounce. This meant that countries around the world could trade their currencies for U.S. dollars, which they could then exchange for gold. This created a system where all currencies were essentially backed by gold. To avoid the logistics of shipping physical gold across the world, when countries did exchange their currencies for gold, it was usually stored safely in the U.S.
Under the Bretton Woods system, you could exchange your currency or your dollars for gold. Now, it only applied to foreign countries and central banks. And we began to run budget deficits. We were running the Great Society program under Lyndon Johnson, and we were fighting a war in Vietnam. And all of a sudden, we were running these deficits, and countries were changing their dollars, and they said they wanted gold. And it began with the French, and then it started to spread.
With all the new spending programs in the United States, other countries became concerned that the U.S. was spending more money than it had gold reserves. They started exchanging their dollars for gold and demanded physical delivery, as they felt that there were more dollars being printed than the gold that backed it. To prevent this outflow of gold from American vaults, President Nixon called for an emergency suspension of the gold convertibility system.
I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets.
All of the problems that we see today in the monetary system are a direct result of the decision made in August 15th, 1971, to abandon a fixed link back to gold. What gold did is it provided discipline on governments, provided discipline on government spending.
Under the old system, If you ran a budget deficit, then what would happen is gold would flow out of your country until there was a balance again. Well, without any gold backing, then countries ran perpetual deficits. So if you look at, for example, this country, from 1971 on, the US has never run a surplus. Ever since we went off the gold standard, it's just been perpetual stimulus. Good times, bad times, always run a deficit.
What led Nixon to abandon the gold standard in 1971, and although he claimed it was temporary, we've been waiting 40 years, we're still off of it. We ran up huge deficits during the 1960s. We had the guns and butter economy where the government was both simultaneously fighting a war in Vietnam abroad. In addition, we were funding manned missions to the moon and the whole space program. We were creating more money than we had gold reserves to back it up. And a lot of our foreign creditors saw this and began to demand gold rather than their Federal Reserve notes, because they sensed that Washington simply didn't have enough gold to make its commitment to back the dollar.
By removing the link between gold and the US dollar, President Nixon created a system where all currencies were backed by nothing. This is what is known as a fiat currency.
Fiat currency is currency that's backed by nothing except government promises. The word fiat is a Latin word, and it basically means currency that's circulating by force. If people have confidence in that currency, and if there's enough government force, that will enable the currency to circulate for a period of time until people lose confidence in the currency.
There is no nation on this planet that currently uses money. We all use currency. There will come a day when everybody knows the difference.
Money is a medium of exchange, and the way it has evolved is that it's always something of intrinsic value until the modern age, when the politicians say, well, we don't need anything of intrinsic value anymore. All we need is political decree. We can say this is money, this piece of paper is money. Now money has a new characteristic. But underneath it all, there's this same concept in place that nobody ever seems to challenge, and that is that governments have a right to declare something of no value to be money, and you must accept it. That's really the problem, and it's still the problem today. It's destroying the economies of the world.
Now, Bretton Woods was a United Nations image of the beast world government directive to control world finance post-World War II. This is the Jesuit order taking control of world trade by setting in place the American Federal Reserve note currency as the instrument of transaction for world trade. Now, this in itself wasn't the problem. The separation of gold from the Federal Reserve banknotes a bit later is the beginning of problems. Now, notice how Nixon accuses countries who simply want their real gold value in exchange for paper money. He accuses them as being speculators. Now, that is a lie. That is a false accusation. Trading countries simply wanted the real value for American dollars and in gold, as was originally promised at Bretton Woods. It is absolutely clear that the Jesuits created the system of trading and banking deficit that has indebted all the world nations to Roman central banks. On top of this ever-increasing deficit is the interest charged by Jesuit central banks in every country for every fiat banknote printed and charged to the national governments. Together, these financial devices have plunged the nations into financial chaos. And now comes the final chess move, putting everyone into absolute checkmate. Digital cryptocurrencies, which are also not backed by gold and are also equally worthless. Can you see what the Jesuits do? They make a promise, they make a deal, then they break it. They constantly do this, and by doing this have deceived the peoples of the world into accepting slavery. Digital financial slavery. Now, it is absolutely amazing to me that channels are now asking on social media, where did the gold go? It is pure sensationalism. People actually believed and still believe that there were tons of gold in Fort Knox. Why would there be? Why would there be any gold there if they don't need gold anymore? If there's no gold backing American currencies, the American dollar bill, why would they need it? The claim by official sources is that there are approximately 4,593 tons of gold at Fort Knox. We will see what the official report says. Now, on a Wikipedia page, or was it another page? I can't remember. They said there's actually 8,000 tons, metric tons of gold at Fort Knox. So there's a lot of discrepancy in how much they say is there. And gold or no gold, I guarantee that this whole gold thing is being done for shock value to trigger a change. Even if the report says the gold is there, how do we know that that is true? We don't. And there's no way to verify the claim. And what difference does it make anyways? Because gold does not underpin any world currency. So whether the gold is there or not makes no difference. It's certainly not going to be used in any way to underpin digital currency. Like they've been printing bills, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of worthless paper notes, in the same way that they did that, pulling money out of thin air off a money tree, they are going to do the same thing with digital currency. And they already are. It's worth nothing, but everybody thinks that it is. It's all based on faith, see? Now, the USA has had no need for gold since 1973, when the US dollar was removed completely from any kind of gold standard. The Jesuits own all the world's gold through their corporations, their mining corporations. Yes, they do. More than 70% of this gold is refined in Switzerland. Remember that gold has to be refined 7 times to achieve its ultimate purity. Even the Bible says this. Now, most of this gold is stored in their London bank vaults and their Zurich bank vaults. Remember the city of London? That square kilometer in the middle of London, which is a separate international entity? Yeah, that's owned by the Jesuits, and all their gold is in the basements down there. Also in Zurich, in the Zurich bank vaults. This is where the majority of the world's gold is kept. Now, if anybody has any other gold, it doesn't matter, because no currencies are pegged to gold. Everything is pegged to the American dollar, which will now be dragged over and pegged to Bitcoin, ultimately. That's where it's all going. Now, everyone gets a gold certificate if you buy gold, which is worthless. It's a total scam. Yes, you can buy some gold coins and some jewelry, but try buying a real bar of 24 karat gold from a bank or broker. They'll give you a certificate and say, get out of here. Even if you could buy real gold in any quantity, you'd better check also that in fact it is real gold. I'm not kidding. There's a lot of counterfeit, fake, or fool's gold floating around, fooling everyone. And there's no, people that buy gold aren't gold experts. They don't know whether they've got real gold or not. You gotta have a bar of lead coated with a thin coating of gold. You would have no idea unless you melted that thing down. Now, even if you do get some real gold, it will be worthless when the real mark of the beast comes in. No one will be able to purchase anything with it. There will be no alternate system of exchange for buying and selling with your gold or silver or anything else. There will only be one exchange of value. And without the mark body implant, the mark of the beast, there will be no access to blockchain digital bank accounts connected to a personal online wallet. Having gold in your possession could also result in punishment and confiscation, ultimately. That's very possible to happen. Now, I've been talking about this subject of money since 2019 because both money and mark must converge at some point soon. And I've been saying this for many years. Now, here are 4 videos since 2019 that speak about this topic, although I have spoken about the money-mark relationship also in many other videos in this now very extensive video series. Video number 53, which I quoted from earlier, titled Beast Coin, Banking the Unbanked, Jesuit Magic Money and Sorcery. Video number 137, titled It's Not About Money. Video number 184, titled Digital Freedom, ? And video number 290, titled Money. Now with this next video from the More Perfect Union YouTube channel, posted February 20th, 2025, I'm going to do 3 things. First, I'm going to play the full 12-minute 56 video. Then I'm going to play a shorter 1-minute 55 compilation of snippets of comments from people in the video engaged in promoting the praise of the cryptocurrency agenda. Finally, I'm going to play a short 4-minute 46 compilation of clips from the same video of authorities who express concern over what is happening in the USA. Now, I'm dividing out these snippets so that you can get a full stream of the comments from both the promoters and from those who have their doubts, so that you can get an idea. Because the person who made the original video did a good job, but he broke up those dialogues so that it's very difficult to hold that train of thought right to the end of the video. So I've broken it all down for you here so it's easier to get the full stream of each of these dialogues. Now, the full video centers around a visit to the WAGMI, W-A-G-M-I, crypto convention held recently in Miami, Florida. WAGMI is an acronym and means we are all going to make it. Can you believe it? We are all going to make it. Now that is pure humanism in a slogan, in an acronym. This is what cryptocurrency enthusiasts believe. They believe that cryptocurrencies are going to make everyone free from the tyranny of the current money system. Now, once again, you can see that digital money is all about humanist freedom without God. This idea of freedom is premised on the belief that the internet is free and that the blockchain can't be accessed or controlled by unauthorized world government entities. That is so important to understand. The idea of freedom is premised, this humanist freedom is premised on the belief that the internet is free and that the blockchain can't be accessed or controlled by unauthorized entities. This is what it's all based on. And of course, we know that the internet is not free. It's not free. And it's not private. This is what cryptocurrency investors actually believe. They are totally deceived. The internet is not inaccessible. It is totally accessible by authorities. It isn't private. There is a backdoor built into all tech devices via software programs and by agreement with all the Jesuit corporate authorities, just as I said before. Humanists must believe in the privacy myth, otherwise their faith in the future, in their humanist golden age future, would be shattered. Now please watch the video and I'll see you afterwards.
It's great to be alive right now. We're alive at the greatest time in financial history.
Money is power, and here in Miami, a new kind of money wants its place at the table.
It's blockchain and it's a digital revolution.
I'm at one of America's largest crypto conferences, just miles from what used to be FTX Arena, where a $135 million naming rights deal collapsed alongside the crypto exchange in 2022. But here, that's ancient history.
Good morning, crypto enthusiasts!
For those that said Bitcoin will never get to 100,000, what do you have to say now? It's
to $1 million.
After pouring over $100 million into the 2024 election, crypto won every race it backed, and now counts the president in its corner.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet.
I'm here to find out what the industry really wants with all that money.
The whole world needs an enema. Donald Trump's that enema.
Beyond the excitement that people here feel, I found a multi-billion-dollar industry with a radical vision that could threaten the whole economy, even for those of us who have never spent a penny on a digital asset.
Bust is going to come when it does, if the traditional financial system and the crypto ecosystem have sort of fully merged. We're ready to have another 2008 moment.
Welcome to WAGME Miami. I mean, walking by, hell of a claim on the side here.
Americans do not need to be slaves. They don't have to file income taxes. I have not paid any federal income or payroll taxes for over 30 years and openly teaching others to do the same.
Wow, remarkable story. It's a strange place to be a crypto agnostic, someone who sees obvious scams in the industry, but can't completely dismiss the true Bitcoin believers.
There's so many great people in this industry right now that started off as skeptics. One of my founding partners came to Bitcoin because he was convinced he was going to find out where it was a scam. He was from finance, and then he found out it wasn't. We ended up starting this company. It's a very, very deep topic. We're talking about finance and the value of human society being saved.
We've got more tailwind than we've ever had behind us in the cryptocurrency industry.
Everyone here is ecstatic, hopeful. Trump's election launched Bitcoin past 100K, minting new millionaires overnight. There's booths selling training and software, and yacht brokers and Cayman Island lawyers.
If you're a US citizen, I always say, always get US tax advice before you come to us.
Want to route your profits through Palau to avoid US taxes? It's complicated, but here's maybe step one. Or maybe you're looking for real estate.
These are all 3 and 4 bedroom residences, so they start at $3.4 million.
Hot damn. Well, I wish that I could be a customer of yours, but I am not.
The market keeps going this direction, you will be.
All of this is based on a pretty simple idea.
Cryptocurrencies are a piece of data that people buy and sell digitally.
Traditional banking needs a bunch of middlemen, banks, clearinghouses, and lawyers who write the rules. Most cryptocurrency is on something called the blockchain, which lets you transact directly by replacing all of them with math and code.
A lot of people have this this mentality that crypto is a scam or fraud or blah, blah, blah. It's simply not true. It's just a technology. It's a tool at the end of the day, right?
But for many, it's a tool that's very much something more.
Bitcoin is of the people, by the people, for the people.
Crypto is actually a fresh, natural, free privacy alternative to the corrupt system.
The original idea behind Bitcoin, which is the first cryptocurrency, was that we couldn't trust banks or financial institutions.
So seeing all of the big banks get bailed out, and it just really struck with me.
There are certainly people who continue to hold those early ideological beliefs, but there is also this massive speculative industry built around it where people are hoping to get rich quick by picking cryptocurrencies they hope will go up in price.
Most people I met at the conference would fall into the true believers, but there's more to the story.
There is also a much larger industry around cryptocurrency that in many ways sort of shadows the very same financial intermediaries they originally spoke about doing away with.
That larger industry recently found an unlikely champion, the president.
Promoting his company's newly launched Trump meme coin.
I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful.
$60 billion in volume, 48 hours. He showed what could be done. Those numbers don't lie.
The guy's crypto holdings are now worth more money than anything else he owns.
There's zero value. What's the value in Doge token right now? It's just a belief in a movement and in a community. And so by Trump doing it, our beautiful First Lady doing it, it kind of validates that now they're not afraid of prosecution. If it's good enough for the president to do it, it should be good enough for anyone to be able to do it.
The numbers tell the story. After he promoted it, Trump coin shot to $75, then crashed to $17. 31 early traders made nearly $669 million. Early buyers escaped with $6.6 billion. Meanwhile, over 800,000 people combined to lose $2 billion. Over the last 4 years, there was one regulator against this type of speculation. SEC Chair Gary Gensler.
That guy was a prick.
Sour grapes, somebody that couldn't hack it.
I think he was unpopular for a reason.
The irony? Gensler helped build crypto's foundation, teaching one of MIT's first blockchain courses.
That was my introduction to blockchain technology, actually, was his classes.
As a regulator, he became the industry's biggest threat, targeting major firms for violations.
And then the crypto industry says, okay, it's fine that you're coming after us, but give us clear-cut guidelines and regulation, and they never did it whatsoever.
Everyone at the conference had the same story about Gensler, and I found myself nodding along. It matched what I read, and it made me wonder, why didn't Gensler provide clear guidelines?
It wasn't that they didn't have certainty, it was that the certainty that was offered to them impeded what they wanted to do.
That's Hillary Allen. She's a law professor at American University. She investigated the last financial crisis for Congress.
There is no law that is completely certain. Every law is open to all kinds of interpretation, even if it seems clear on its face. For example, fraud is illegal. Does the statute spell out in chapter and verse every single thing that counts as fraud? No, because if you did that, that would just give a roadmap for anyone who wanted to commit fraud.
That's the heart of it. Crypto says it's leading a revolution that needs new rules. Gensler saw it differently. Except for a few cryptocurrencies, these are investments. File your paperwork like everyone else, which involves financial statements.
There's no way they could come up with audited financials because there's nothing behind them. So what the crypto industry was looking for was regulation that didn't enforce those kind of things, but still gave consumers enough comfort that they'd be willing to invest.
When Gensler wouldn't back down, the industry found another way forward. Buy enough political influence to replace him.
The cryptocurrency super PACs raised around $200 million during the 2024 election cycle, and they spent about $130 million of that. Rather remarkable to see this amount of money coming out of the cryptocurrency industry, especially because they had not previously been that involved in politics.
Molly tracked where all this political spending came from. The biggest checks? From the very companies the SEC was investigating. Coinbase, charged with selling unregistered securities. They donated $46 million. Ripple, also facing SEC action, threw in $45 million. And Andreessen Horowitz, the Silicon Valley giant with investments across the industry, matched them nearly dollar for dollar.
The cryptocurrency industry has been very clear that they want changes to the regulatory environment in the United States.
A little over a month into the Trump administration, and it's already happening. Gensler is out at SEC, replaced by Paul Atkins. He's a crypto lobbyist who counted the collapsed FTX as a client. Howard Lutnick, whose company owns 5% of controversial crypto giant Tether, took commerce. And the new Treasury Secretary is Scott Bessent. Here's what he said about crypto last summer.
Crypto is about freedom, and the crypto economy is here to stay. Crypto is bringing in young people. It's bringing in the people who haven't participated in markets.
They want to see a free-for-all, honestly, when it comes to how companies can present investments to retail buyers. And they're hoping to see basically a hands-off approach from the government when it comes to the entire tech industry, not just the cryptocurrency world.
The new agency heads can reshape enforcement. And they already have, pausing investigations and opening banks to crypto. But the real goal is to rewrite America's financial rules.
The crypto industry is basically in lockstep with the US government to dictate policy that is favorable to them, but not necessarily to the American public.
Last year, pro-crypto members of Congress introduced a bill called Fiat 21. The legislation gives crypto exactly what it wants: clear definitions and freedom from SEC oversight.
That has been their primary goal for some time now.
Instead of the SEC, crypto would answer to the CFTC, the same agency that missed the warning signs before 2008's financial collapse.
The reason why the industry has wanted that is that the CFTC is sort of being typically seen as a lighter touch, a pretty small agency. It's not particularly well funded, and it doesn't have a culture of investor protection.
Fiat 21 sailed through the House last year, but hit a wall in the Senate. Then, the industry opened its wallets.
The Senate race in Ohio was a massive target of political spending, where the cryptocurrency industry was looking to oust Sherrod Brown, who is a powerful figure in the Senate Banking Committee, critical of crypto in the past.
The industry spent $40 million. Their guy won.
BIT21 was kind of designed to pass the previous Congress. Now that they have bought so much support in Congress, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go further.
But Molly and Hillary see something more dangerous hiding in these bills. A chance to tear down America's entire system of financial regulation.
The Trojan horse aspect that I'm particularly worried about is that in doing so, the securities laws might be eviscerated for everything, not just for crypto. All the legislative proposals we've seen so far is to say, if this security or this thing lives on a blockchain, it's carved out of the securities laws.
It's almost this escape hatch for anyone who wants to try to use it to completely undermine securities regulations.
All this to benefit an industry that has a history of proving why we need strong financial regulation in the first place.
There was this major cryptocurrency market collapse during 2022. FTX was certainly the most notable example, but quite a few cryptocurrency companies fell apart during that time period as crypto prices declined.
People who had invested in crypto lost a lot, and there were some very heartbreaking stories that came out of it. But if you weren't a crypto investor, you wouldn't really have noticed that this had happened unless you were reading the newspapers.
Crypto isn't staying on the fringes anymore. Major pension funds are already invested through SEC-approved vehicles. States want to accept it for taxes. Public companies hold it on their books.
And I worry that even people who choose to stay away from crypto may end up feeling the pain of disasters.
A bust is going to come when it does, if the traditional financial system and crypto ecosystem have sort of fully merged, then we're ready to have another 2008 moment. As complicated as the financial products were back in 2008, somewhere there was a house with a mortgage on it. And with crypto, you don't need to have a house. They've solved the problem of needing anything.
I'm leaving the conference right now, and honestly, I'm a little bit speechless. I can't help but think that this industry is moving way too fast, and that people, some are probably well-intentioned, are building something that they don't know how to control, and it could blow up the economy. It's really scary to me that it seems like this administration wants to press down on the accelerator. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. And if you have ideas for future things we should cover, put them in the comments.
Now, I urge you to watch the video more than once, the full video, because the play speed is fast and there is a lot of info crammed into 13 minutes. It is a good video because it explains in fairly simple terms what is happening right now. Now, this is the reason why I've separated various components from the main video. It makes it easier to follow the ideas in the video. So here is a short compilation of comments from crypto advocates and investors. Please watch, and I'll see you afterwards.
It's great to be alive right now. We're alive at the greatest time in financial history.
It's because it said Bitcoin will never get to 100,000. What do you have to say now? It's to 1 million.
The whole world needs an enema. Donald Trump's that enema.
Not need to be slaves. They don't have to file income taxes. Have not paid any federal income or payroll taxes for over 30 years and openly teaching others to do the same.
Wow. Remarkable story.
There's so many great people in this industry right now that started off as skeptics. One of my founding partners came to Bitcoin because he was convinced he was going to find out where it was a scam. He was from finance, and then he found out it wasn't. We ended up starting this company. It's a very, very deep topic. We're talking about finance and the value of human society being saved.
Got more people have this this mentality that crypto is a scam or fraud or blah blah blah. It's simply not true. It's just a technology. It's a tool at the end of the day, right?
Bitcoin is of the people, by the people, for the people.
Crypto is actually a fresh, natural, free privacy alternative to the corrupt system.
All of the big banks get bailed out, and it just really struck with me. $60 billion in volume, 48 hours. He showed what could be done. Those numbers don't lie.
The guy's crypto holdings are now worth more money than anything else he owns.
There's zero value. What's the value in Doge token right now? It's just a belief in a movement and in a community. And so by Trump doing it, our beautiful First Lady doing it, it kind of validates that now they're not afraid of prosecution. If it's good enough for the president to do it, it should be good enough for anyone to be able to do it.
Crypto is about freedom, and the crypto economy is here to stay. Crypto is bringing in young people. It's bringing in the people who haven't participated in markets.
Did you hear the one gentleman say that cryptocurrencies are about finance and the value of human society being saved? That's what these people believe. Their hope is in money saving mankind and not in Jesus Christ. Money is their hope for the future. They have zero understanding of the trap that they are walking into with digital money. Did you hear the misguided hope that they have placed in Donald Trump? Crypto is of the people, by the people, and for the people? Are you kidding me? That's one of the most lunatic statements I've ever heard. It will be for the people one day soon, but not to liberate them or benefit them. That's for sure. Crypto is actually a fresh, natural, free, privacy alternative to the corrupt system. Once again, this statement assumes that the blockchain is private and unhackable. It is an assumption based on naivety and ignorance. Cryptocurrencies are speculative in nature and promote greed as a quick, rich, quick scheme. The Jesuits are luring people in with this bait. Now, one of the men said it correctly. He said, there's zero value. What's the value in Doge token right now? It's just a belief and a movement and a community. By Trump and the First Lady doing it, it validates that they're not afraid of prosecution. If it's good enough for the president to do it, then it should be good enough for anyone to do it. This is a classic example of an unquestioning, uncritical mind. Absolute stupidity, in my opinion. Like sheep to the slaughter chasing magic money, and 800,000 people lost $2 billion when Trump's meme coin crashed in a very short space of time after startup. Do people learn their lesson? Nope. They're going to continue to run ahead with digital currency, and they're going to be taken to the cleaners, and then they're going to be totally enslaved, and then they're going to go into the lake of fire. It is a very sad thing that is happening here. Are cryptocurrencies an American phenomenon? No, sir. Did you know that 95% of cryptocurrency exchanges in Russia are, you guessed it, Bitcoin? Did you know that the leading sleeper cryptocurrency in China is named, wait for it, Neo? Crypto is being used everywhere. This is a worldwide phenomenon. People worldwide have been absolutely deceived by the idea and the use of cryptocurrencies. Now, here is the second compilation video of comments from concerned authorities about where the cryptocurrency agenda is heading. Please watch, and I'll see you afterwards.
Is going to come when it does, if the traditional financial system and the crypto ecosystem have sort of fully merged. We're ready to have another 2008 moment.
Cryptocurrencies are a piece of data that people buy and sell digitally. The original idea behind Bitcoin, which is the first cryptocurrency, was that we couldn't trust banks or financial institutions, certainly people who continue to hold those early ideological beliefs, but there is also this massive speculative industry built around it where people are hoping to get rich quick by picking cryptocurrencies they hope will go up in price. There is also a much larger industry around cryptocurrency that in many ways sort of shadows the very same financial intermediaries they originally spoke about doing away with.
It wasn't that they didn't have certainty, it was that the certainty that was offered to them impeded what they wanted to do.
That's Hillary Allen.
There is no law that is completely certain. Every law is open to all kinds of interpretation, even if it seems clear on its face. For example, fraud is illegal. Does the statute spell out in chapter and verse every single thing that counts as fraud? No, because if you did that, that would just give a roadmap for anyone who wanted to commit fraud. There's no way they could come up with audited financials because there's nothing behind them. So what the crypto industry was looking for was regulation that didn't enforce those kind of things, but still gave consumers enough comfort that they'd be willing to invest.
Raised around $200 million during the 2024 election cycle, and they spent about $130 million of that. Rather remarkable to see this amount of money coming out of the cryptocurrency industry, especially because they had not previously been that involved in politics. The cryptocurrency industry has been very clear that they want changes to the regulatory environment in the United States. They want to see a free-for-all, honestly, when it comes to how companies can present investments to retail buyers. And they're hoping to see basically a hands-off approach from the government when it comes to the entire tech industry, not just the cryptocurrency world.
The new agent
Crypto industry is basically in lockstep with the US government to dictate policy that is favorable to them, but not necessarily to the American public. That has been their primary goal for some time now.
The reason why the industry has wanted that is that the CFTC is sort of being typically seen as a lighter touch, a pretty small agency. It's not particularly well funded, and it doesn't have a culture of investor protection.
Race in Ohio was a massive target of political spending, where the cryptocurrency industry was looking to oust Sherrod Brown, who is a powerful figure in the Senate Banking Committee, critical of crypto in the past, and was kind of designed to pass the previous Congress. Now that they have bought so much support in Congress, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go further.
The Trojan horse aspect that I'm particularly worried about is that in doing so, the securities laws might be eviscerated for everything, not just for crypto. All the legislative proposals we've seen so far is to say, if this security or this thing lives on a blockchain, it's carved out of the securities laws.
It's almost this escape hatch for anyone who wants to try to use it to completely undermine securities regulations. There was this major cryptocurrency market collapse during 2022. FTX was certainly the most notable example, but quite a few cryptocurrency companies fell apart during that time period as crypto prices declined.
People who had invested in crypto lost a lot, and there were some very heartbreaking stories that came out of it. But if you weren't a crypto investor, you wouldn't really have noticed that this had happened unless you were reading the newspapers.
That even people who choose to stay away from crypto may end up feeling the pain of disasters.
A bust is going to come when it does, if the traditional financial system and crypto ecosystem have sort of fully merged, then we're ready to have another 2008 moment. As complicated as the financial products were back in 2008, somewhere there was a house with a mortgage on it. And with crypto, you don't need to have a house. They've solved the problem of needing anything.
It is plain to see that people see the writing on the wall, but nothing, or some people see the writing on the wall, but nothing is going to stop cryptocurrency madness from destroying and replacing the current money system. Donna and cronies have already purchased billions in Bitcoin as a strategic asset for the U.S. government. The Jesuit-directed Masonic politicians are destroying the current securities legislation framework in order to replace the whole American money system. Cryptocurrency is mark of the beast money, and it is getting close to implementation. All countries are following this trend. They have to. When the Jesuit Assistancy of North America goes digital, then all others will follow. They will no longer be able to use paper currencies for world trade. As for all the speculation rampant about the origin of Bitcoin suddenly and mysteriously in 2009, we don't have to look very far for the origin. In this short 1 minute 37 video clip, the origin paper for the crypto blockchain concept is revealed as from the NSA, or National Security Agency, in the U.S. government 13 years prior in 1996. Well, what a perfect number. Like I said before, 666. For those who know how things operate in Satan's Masonic web of lies, it is clear that the Jesuits are the source of this digital money system. Please watch this short video, and I'll see you afterwards.
NSA invent Bitcoin? The theory's picking up steam because in 1996, the NSA released a paper called How to Make a Mint, the Cryptography of Anonymous Electronic Cash. In the paper, they have the backbones of what it would take to create something like Bitcoin. One of the sources for the paper is Tatsuaki Akamoto, who 2 years later created a public crypto ecosystem. And a lot of people are pointing out the similarities between this name and Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of the Bitcoin white paper. And guys, the plot thickens from there. The hashing algorithm that Bitcoin is built on, SHA-256, was created by the NSA. So that begs the question,
in 1996, over a decade before the existence of Bitcoin, the NSA published a paper titled How to Make a Mint, the Cryptography of Anonymous Electronic Cash. In it, NSA researchers outlined a system very much like Bitcoin, where financial transactions are secured via cryptography and made possible via a decentralized network. That way, your digital money could have privacy, protection against double spending, and protection against denial of service, eerily similar to a blockchain. 13 years later, the Bitcoin white paper was released, and the cryptographic algorithm Bitcoin uses to secure its transactions, the SHA-256 algorithm. And the creator of that algorithm? None other than the NSA. Think about it. As the government, wouldn't it be nice if you had a clean, perfect, immutable database that displayed everyone's transactions on a public ledger, while giving everyone the illusion of privacy? If you had such a tool, as long as you can connect a wallet address to a person, which is not that hard to do, evading taxes would be a thing of the past. Laundering money would be a thing of the past.
It is very clear that Bitcoin is in fact beast coin, and the blockchain is in fact a giant Jesuit spiderweb waiting to trap its victims and suck the life right out of them. The character called Satoshi Nakamoto is a giant Jesuit joke created for the purpose of chasing rabbits down endless rabbit holes, as I explained in another video. That is what people have been doing with endless questions and videos, endless videos about who is Satoshi Nakamoto. Who cares? It doesn't matter. The Jesuits must be laughing their guts out at that one. People have been chasing Nakamoto for 15 years for nothing. Nakamoto isn't important. Knowing what the cryptocurrency is for, now that is the right question. Knowing that it is designed as a final economic prison is the key to getting understanding. Now, the first letter of the three words, Bitcoin, block, and chain, equal B plus B plus C, which equals 223, or in reverse, 322. The number 322 is the number of skull and bones, as well as the date March 22nd, which is the beginning of the occult New Year. The vernal spring equinox falls on March 21st. The first day of Aries, the first astrological sign, is March 22nd. Aries, or Mars, is the ancient god of war. Now, most wars are started in the month of March, traditionally. So 322 is a symbol of the new order, the new mark money system, the new beginnings that the Jesuits have been striving to bring to birth. So now we should also keep an eye on March 22nd, as well as March 15 and May 21st. So there's a bunch of dates it would be good to keep an eye on. So, Bitcoin and blockchain equals 322. Now here's a breakdown of the occult meaning of the name Satoshi Nakamoto. For those of you who have not heard this before or run across this before or watched any of my earlier videos. The name Satoshi is of Japanese origin. The meaning of Satoshi is clear thinking, quick-witted, and wise. Yeah, that's the Jesuits. They're mocking us. The name Nakamoto is Japanese and means central origin, or one who lives in the middle. And this name is mostly found in the Ryukyu Islands in Japan. So, who's in the center? Who's in the middle? Well, the Jesuits are. So Satoshi Nakamoto is a name that totally mocks the ignorant who have no idea what is going on. So the Jesuits chose a name that means the wise one who lives in the middle. Can you see how everyone has been hoodwinked? This is a Jesuit joke, a mockery of everyone's stupidity in not realizing the hoax, the scam. Let's have a look at the numbers as they add up for the name Satoshi Nakamoto using Pythagorean numerology. The name Satoshi Nakamoto has the perfect Masonic life path number of 33. Just coincidence again? No, sir. The name has the soul urge number 3. The name has the heart's desire number 3. The name has the expression number 1. The name has the destiny number 1. The name has the personality number of 7. These are all occult designations. Now, all these numbers give you a 33, an 11, and a 7. All high-scoring occult numbers. The 33 is the doubling of the perfect 3, making a 33, which is the satanic mockery of the age of Christ, when the Luciferian Jews and Romans crucified him. It's also represents the number of fallen angels, as 1/3 of the fallen angels is 33. The 11 symbolizes the 2 Masonic pillars of Boaz and Jachin. And note that the personality number is a 7, which represents the divine, because Satan believes he is God. Now, the Jesuit joke here is that Satoshi Nakamoto symbolizes the pinnacle of occult power, the 33rd level, and the all-seeing eye of Horus, the mysterious voice and direction of the Masons, who is none other than the Jesuit Superior General, who is considered divine. To all the Jesuits, the Superior General or Black Pope is God. Now add up all the numbers and you get 15. This is the biblical number of healing or restoration. The Jesuit Black Pope God is healing the nations and restoring Babylon with DNA-altering vaccines and internet blockchain umbilical cord. Sound crazy? Well, it's true. This is what the occult meanings behind the mark of the beast are. Whether you understand this or not is irrelevant. I urge you to get the understanding so that you understand what these people are doing and what the Bible says that they're going to do and that they are doing right now. Now here is a short 4-minute 57 video clip of Michael Saylor talking about cryptocurrencies. Michael J. Saylor is an American entrepreneur and business executive estimated to be worth $8 billion. He is the executive chairman and co-founder of MicroStrategy, a company that provides business intelligence, mobile software, and cloud-based services. Listen to his pro-Bitcoin only stance. Now, this video is from the Crypto View YouTube channel, posted December 19th, 2024, last year. Please watch, and I'll see you afterwards.
Yeah, what I say today is it's clear we have a pro-crypto president. They're all in on crypto. They're all in on Bitcoin. They're progressive. They're all about freedom. And freedom means, you know, the 20th century securities regime was you got to spend $40 million on compliance to bring a company public. But what if I only want to raise $4 million in capital? How does it make sense that I got to spend $40 million on insurance in order to take a $4 million risk? So I think actually when we come January, depending upon who runs the SEC, I think you'll have a pro digital assets SEC, a pro digital assets Treasury, a pro digital assets White House, a pro digital House and Senate, Now, if you want the crypto industry to grow and prosper in the United States, you need a digital assets framework that is ethically sound, technically sound, economically sound. And that means this is a digital commodity, this is a digital security, this is a digital token, this is a digital currency, this is a digital NFT, this is a digital ABT, asset-backed token. If you define all those, and I did, by the way, in my keynote at Cantor Fitzgerald last Thursday, which has gone viral, I said, here is your digital asset classes. Now we need the regulators to give us that framework. Tell us how I issue, how I operate, how I own, how I trade. And if they do that well, I think actually we're going to see a massive explosion in digital assets in this country. There's no reason why half the equity on the NASDAQ can't start trading digitally. Why not Apple stock trade digitally 24/7, 365? Why not, why not Katy Perry issue a Katy Perry token if she wants? Or how about Joe, or how about your company? PBD, why can't you actually go public and issue your own digital security or digital token? There ought to be an ethical way to do it. I think that the law ought to be simpler. It ought to be, just don't lie, cheat, and steal, right? Like, if we go back to this, right? If you believe in free markets, the free market view would be, I'm going to give people a way to do these things and just remind them, don't lie, cheat, and steal. I'm going to give them a practical legal framework. If you do that, I think there's 400,000 big companies that are private. There's 400 million companies. And I think the note that I made last week is 0.06% of the businesses in America are able to tap the capital markets. And so we have a crushing, over-regulated capital market regulatory regime that started in 1933. And I think that you need an alignment of the White House, the Senate, and the House to put in place a freedom, innovation-oriented digital economy. So I would say right now I'm fairly bullish it'll happen. I think they want to do it. And I think that, I don't recommend any particular security or any particular investment other than Bitcoin, but I do think that it's better for the world if we have hundreds of thousands of digital assets created, launched, and I'd like to see the industry go from $1 trillion of digital assets to $500 trillion of digital assets that are tokenized.
Could there come a time where you're pro-Ripple and maybe even to the point that you recommend clients to it? Is there a possibility?
I'm Bitcoin only, 100%. Like, the truth is, I wouldn't even recommend Apple stock. Like, there's no security. I'm not going to recommend
0% chance.
Yeah, like I wouldn't recommend a security because there's a counterparty to a security. But the position is, like, it's if you came public and you had your own security or token or whatever you had, I wouldn't recommend you either. But it's not because I'm not in favor of your business. I just think that you have to stay in your lane, right? I'm not going to give you recommendations on diet or politics or any particular investment other than to say, I think Bitcoin is digital capital and it's a long-term store of value. And so, having said it though, I'm very much in favor of digital. I would like to see digital currencies, digital tokens, digital NFTs, digital ABTs that are commercialized in an ethically sound, economically sound, technically sound fashion.
Did you hear his prediction that the American government under Trump would change the rules governing the Security Exchange Commission? That process is almost finished. The U.S. government under Trump has already purchased billions of dollars of Bitcoin. Here's another short 5-minute 10 video clip taken from a longer 17-minute video from the Cold Fusion YouTube channel posted December 18th, 2024. It would be well worth your while to go and watch the whole video as it is very informative. Please watch and I'll see you afterwards.
This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the
Since his electoral victory, Trump's transition team has tapped people championed by the crypto industry to lead various agencies.
This video is brought to you by Aura. The United States of America is planning to buy 1 million Bitcoin. That's around 5% of the total remaining Bitcoin supply. This idea comes in the form of a new bill called the Bitcoin Act of 2024. A lot of people out there are wondering, is this really a good idea? And hang on, how did America even get to this point? This all seems a bit out of nowhere, doesn't it? A question that people want to ask is why? Why do this? Will America become the leader in digital finance? Or are we witnessing peak stupid? In this episode, we'll answer those questions and we'll see what's in the Bitcoin bill.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Firstly, it might surprise a lot of you to find out that the US government already owns roughly 207,000 Bitcoin. With a price of $100,000 per coin, 207,000 coins is a mammoth amount of locked up value. The Bitcoin Act, which is actually an acronym for this, mandates that all Bitcoin held by any federal agency must be transferred to the Treasury to be held in a strategic Bitcoin reserve. But there is a question here though. How on earth does the US government already have so much Bitcoin? Well, it's simple. Bitcoin seizures due to criminal activity. Interestingly, around 144,000 of the seized Bitcoin were from one guy, Ross Ulbricht, aka Dread Pirate Roberts. He was the founder of Silk Road, a dark website that sold narcotics for Bitcoin.
A U.S. man was able to hide behind a false identity, operating a sophisticated illegal drug website. The site operated much like eBay. It allowed users to buy and sell illegal drugs, guns, and even hire hitmen. The FBI spent 2 years trying to find the man behind the site.
In 2013, Ulbricht was ambushed in a library while he was working on his laptop. Unfortunately for him, he didn't get a chance to turn off the laptop before being arrested, so the FBI had unencrypted access to all of his coins.
You wanted to get that computer while it was open and running as quickly as possible. I think he initially thought he was being robbed of the computer, but then once identifications came out, he understood what was happening.
If you remember my Silk Road episode from a few years back, you know the story. But back to the Bitcoin Act. This Bitcoin bill isn't just about relocating seized Bitcoins. It's a lot more than that. Here's what the Bitcoin Act is at a glance. It mandates that the Secretary of Treasury purchase, quote, not more than 200,000 Bitcoins per year over a 5-year period for a total acquisition of 1 million Bitcoins. The 1 million Bitcoins is then to be held by the Treasury for at least 20 years before any selling can take place. There's also other restrictions on sales. The bill also mandates that the first $6 billion of earnings of the Federal Reserve banks each year has to be used to purchase Bitcoin for the strategic reserve. And next is the most significant part of the bill, exchanging gold reserves for Bitcoin. Well, kind of. In the media, there's a lot of talk about the US government selling off its gold to buy Bitcoin, an absolutely harebrained idea. But as far as I can tell, this isn't technically true. The government will be selling gold certificates to buy the Bitcoin. So how does that work? Currently, the US government supposedly has a stockpile of about 8,133 metric tons of gold in Fort Knox and other vaults. The thing is, the gold held by the US government is valued at $42.22 per ounce, or about $11 billion in total. It's been stuck at that value since February 12, 1973. But today, the market price of gold is around $2,700 per ounce. That's over 70 times higher for a total of approximately $775 billion. So, the Treasury will issue new gold certificates or claims of gold based on the current market price. They'll exchange those certificates for dollars and use the resulting cash, about $775 billion, to buy up the Bitcoins. So no physical gold is actually being sold, just the gold certificates. The United States stopped publicly issuing gold certificates officially back in 1934, so reviving the concept is certainly interesting. Senator Cynthia Loomis, who introduced the bill, tells Bloomberg, quote, We already have financial assets in the form of gold certificates to convert to Bitcoin, so the effect on the US balance sheet is pretty neutral." End quote. In other words, this is supposedly at no expense to US taxpayers. Okay, so that's the bill, but what's the point of doing all of this? Up next in this episode, we'll see why America is doing this, how the nation got to this point, also explore if this is a good idea, and we'll see what happens next.
Now, the question to ask about the American government buying Bitcoin is, why? Only Bitcoin. Only Bitcoin. Why? That should be enough to tell you that the money system is going digital and the USA is being used to lead the charge. And Bitcoin will remain the dominant cryptocurrency. As of June 2023, there were more than 25,000 cryptocurrencies worldwide. At some point soon, I believe these are all going to merge into one beast digital money system. So Bitcoin will, I believe, ultimately subsume all these 25,000 cryptocurrencies worldwide. Now, what the Jesuits are doing at the moment is casting a wide crypto net to ensnare as many foolish souls as possible. This process is ongoing worldwide to fleece the sheep of their assets. The Jesuits have been stripping assets from the common people for decades now. The wealth is all being taken away. The wealth was built up during the years of prosperity post-World War II, and now the wealth is all being siphoned off. It's all being taken away. Now here's a final short 6-minute 45 video clip taken from a longer 30-minute video from the AMTV YouTube channel posted February 19th, 2025. Maybe some of you have come across this channel. This YouTube channel is a great example of what is parading as Christian on the internet. It is one of the worst examples of the North American Protestant religion mindset. The mix of beliefs in this man's outreach are satanic to the max, but he doesn't even see it. I have only exposed you to 6-minute 45 as an example of what not to be and what not to do. This man named Chris Green professes to be a Christian, but often acts in a condescending, sarcastic, and even belligerent manner to his viewing audience. He is arrogant, provocative, and boastful, flaunting his success and wealth to those watching him. He repeatedly reminds people that he is a visionary and saw all this coming long before anyone else did. He taunts people, questioning why they aren't rich like him. Now, probably the worst thing he says is, God showed him all these things because he reads the Bible every day. What amazes me is that apparently God showed him so many things, but never showed him who the Roman enemy is. Never showed him how to get truly born again. Never warned him about piling up wealth. Never showed him that God resists the proud and gives grace to the humble. Never revealed to him correct doctrine. Never showed him who the Antichrist is. And never showed him that taunting people with his wealth is evil. With all his claimed Bible reading, he doesn't even understand prophecy and what is going to happen shortly, because he believes he and his in-crowd are going to be exempt somehow. The gap between what he says and claims to be doing and what the Bible says we ought to be doing is huge. He talks about the Antichrist in one breath as being Elon Musk or Bill Gates, and then in another breath says that no one knows who the Antichrist is. He talks about Jesus coming back, but has no idea of the danger he is in spiritually. Maybe people enjoy this man's psychological abuse in some sort of weird social media sadomasochistic way. I don't know. The amazing thing is he has nearly 670,000 subscribers who put up with his behavior, who believe in his advice. Maybe they follow him out of envy because he is wealthy. I don't know. The reason I'm including this clip is because he is telling the truth about cryptocurrency, about money here. He is warning against the American government's move into cryptocurrency and what it will mean for us all. Now, please forbear with this man's posturing and just listen to what he says. I am not endorsing this man's channel, his views, or his activities and attitude. I'm just using what is helpful to illustrate what I have been saying in this message. And this man is indicative of what is happening all across social media. Please watch, and I'll see you afterwards.
Physical currency will be removed from circulation in the United States and worldwide very, very soon. We're going to talk about this and a whole lot more while we take in the ocean view. Listen to those beautiful waves. And also have a little bit of a cup of Joe here at the Diamond Nuts Penthouse, no bank debt, islandproject.com, digital Noah's Ark. So let's talk about this for a minute. For example, they've already removed the U.S. penny. They already got rid of the penny. So you need to ask yourself, when will they start getting rid of other currencies, physical dollars in your pocket? When will they get rid of $5 bills, $10 bills, $20 bills? Now, the argument here is a lot of people will tell me things like, well, Christopher, General, the penny, it's wasteful. It's too much government spending, so Donald Trump and Elon Musk are getting rid of the penny because it's too costly. Okay, but based on that general argument, would you not agree that all physical currency is actually too costly? It costs a lot more to produce physical currency, physical $100 bills, physical $20 bills, $10 bills, $5 bills, just like the penny or nickels or whatever it might be, or quarters, than it does to have a digital footprint that costs the U.S. government nothing, of which they can surveil and track your every move, turn you off, prohibit transactions, censor your money, confiscate your bank accounts digitally. Again, based on that argument, which is a dumb one, then that only assures that all fiat U.S. dollars will be removed out of U.S. circulation and all physical currency will be removed out of circulation based on your own measures, based on what you're telling me. So what's happening right now is a fundamental, methodical rollout, and this is one big Trojan horse of the Doge doggy investigations. Let me explain this, right? So they're getting rid of government waste, and they're moving in doggy to cut costs, right? Even though Elon Musk says he's going to cut a check, a $5,000 check to all Americans through doggy. So it's not like they're saving money. They're going to be spending more money, causing more hyperinflation, causing more stimmies to go out to the American people. And I'm all for you guys getting paid and the American people getting paid. I believe you should, but that's the opposite of cost cutting. Just so you understand that. That only assures more dollar printing and more dollar inflation and worthlessness of the fake currency that makes up the US dollar. So what they're doing is, this is a Trojan horse. They're building trust in Elon Musk. What are they going to do to all these federal departments? Well, they're going to put them on a ledger. They're going to put them on a public blockchain for audit as a result of the Doge and the doggy investigations and Elon Musk doing all the cost cutting. And then with the Trojan horse, what they're going to do next is remove all physical currency from you tuning in to save money and put it on a blockchain that a government has all-seeing eye, absolute totalitarian AI, artificial intelligence control over, and your worst nightmare will be realized by this administration or the next. Again, step out of fake politics for a minute. Step out of your fake hero worship of Republicans or Democrats. They're both the same. It's going the exact same direction. Let me tell you a little bit more about this too, because Microsoft just revealed its first 8-qubit quantum processor. For those of you that don't know, they've been developing these new technologies for years. And what are these qubits, Christopher? What are the Qs? Oh, that's interesting. The Q movement. These qubits, essentially, instead of a normal computer operating in a static state of binary code and zeros and ones, qubits actually operate in harmony, solving complex algorithms and mathematical problems at once. So for example, instead of it being static, like current computers are, a qubit or quantum-based system can solve a lot more complex problems that a normal computer couldn't. You can program it, for example, like, hey, find us a cure for this particular illness, or find the best way to do this, or solve this math problem and tell us how it'll affect future population growth, or whatever it may be. So this opening the door of quantum-based computing also tells you that the direction of society, and Microsoft and other tech giants have said this is the year of quantum computing. We're seeing quantum tech stocks skyrocket as a result. Also tells you that you're moving this direction. Again, the goal of the elites is to remove all of your rights, all of your freedom, to track and surveil everything. If you don't comply, they're going to turn off your currency next, and they're all going to do it through the Trojan horse that is doggy. They're going to be building trust, they're cost cutting. By the way, have any of you actually audited any of this stuff yourself? Or are you just taking Elon Musk's word for it? Have any of you actually shown up at the investigation office looking for clues? Have you gone through the financial statements that Elon Musk is telling you are fraudulent? Probably not. You're taking their word for it. Again, the American people have done no investigation work at all. You're taking the words of a politician. Think about that for a minute. And I'm telling you what they're going to do. Again, once they move all government services to the government-approved blockchain, which will be very evil, they will then move the new digital dollar to a government blockchain, removing physical currency from you and your family. Now, don't kid yourself, because a lot of you out there keep telling me things, but like Christopher, Donald Trump says he's not going to allow the CBDC, so we can be rest assured that this digital dollar isn't coming. Well, you think they're stupid enough to call it a CBDC? Are you that dumb? Of course they're not going to call it a CBDC. They didn't call the Patriot Act the Pat Down Surveillance Check Your Shoes Act. They didn't call the Patriot Act, we're going to, feel you up and all your friends and family act. No, they called it the Patriot Act. So of course Donald Trump or any other politician's not going to call it a CBDC. They're going to call it USA Stable, or they're going to call it America Coin, or they're going to call it, Patriot Coin, or whatever it is. They'll have a different name for the same, but just, if not arguably worse and more sinister CBDC I've been warning about. And I know what I'm talking about, predicted.
As far as I know, this Chris Green character became wealthy by playing the financial markets and speculating in cryptocurrencies. So he's warning about them, but at the same time promoting them. That's why he is living in an expensive hotel on a beach somewhere in Hawaii. Nevertheless, he does see the danger of what is coming in an interesting sort of way. He just doesn't believe that this danger applies to him or his family somehow. He definitely didn't learn anything from the Jew attacks on Lahaina on Maui. Somehow he doesn't think his hotels and his other investments will burn, or that everything can be taken from him in a moment of time. He is in fact a very foolish man. Now, most people are proclaiming the wonders of cryptocurrencies just as this man is, but at least he is warning about the world tyranny that is here now and rising. Is he warning against the Jesuits and the Roman beast? No. He is stuck in the same deceptive rut as all the other social media deceivers, spouting off about oligarchies and deep states. He is deceived by the effects and doesn't see the Roman cause of the effects. He actually has no idea who his enemy is. His views are humanistic and carnal, and somehow he believes that taking your money out of the bank is an act of resistance. He believes somehow that his crypto wealth magic money is going to save him, but at the same time, he is attempting to warn people about what is coming, just as I am. Because of this only, I am sharing a bit of what he is saying. And once again, let me repeat, I in no way endorse anything that this man says or promotes outside of what I have just described. Chris Green and AMTV, along with many others, espouse a diabolical mix of North American-style hedonism mixed with Hollywood-style apocalyptic dystopian visions and American-style, I should say North American-style because it's not typical to just America, North American-style Protestant religious doctrines centered around Calvinism and Gnostic humanism. It's all rolled up into one very deceptive package. They're all doing this. That's why he is on YouTube with 670,000 subscribers, and I am not. He is constantly self-censoring his speech and is no threat to the beast. If he was a threat, he would have disappeared from YouTube 3 or 4 years ago, like I did. Beware of anything you listen to on YouTube. Beware the ministries of these silver-tongued devils because they are slick and very deceptive, and money is always involved. Always. Now, this is what I wrote in video number 137 titled, "It's Not About the Money," posted March 5th, 2021. The block, and I quote, "The blockchain is changing everything, but few people realize to what extent and the ultimate effect it will have on them personally. Yes, blockchain is mainstream and running in parallel with other systems right now. Don't believe the stories you hear in the media about banks and corporations being cautious to engage with the blockchain and digital currencies. These are propagated to make it appear as if there is a serendipitous money evolution taking place. I can tell you that that is a myth. All these giant corporate entities, banks, are following a script written by the Jesuit bankers. They have all invested heavily in Bitcoin. Yes, they have. Whether they admit to this publicly or not is irrelevant. They are all heavily invested in Bitcoin. Now, here is another nasty facet to the cryptocurrency blockchain AI prison system that is now engulfing us: fraud and theft. I have a short 1 minute 30 video compilation taken from a longer 10 minute 42 video titled "How Americans Are Losing Their Savings to Crypto Fraud," posted to the CNBC News YouTube channel, posted August 2024 last year. This problem doesn't only apply to Americans. It is happening to people worldwide. And if we combine business losses with personal losses, it is in the tens and probably hundreds of billions of dollars being lost in crypto scams. Please watch the video, and I'll see you afterwards.
I met my scammer through a dating app called Bumble, where he spent about 6 weeks courting me before I made my first investment into a cryptocurrency fraudulent website domain. I lost 152,000 USD. I will probably be spending the next 10 years to pay off the debts for completing the manipulative techniques that were used to get me to continue to invest in their platform.
Karina, that 2023 Internet Crime Report from the FBI found the vast majority of reported investment crime was tied to crypto. The underlying technology allows for peer-to-peer money transfers, making it a great tool for remittances. Transactions don't require middlemen, which scammers use to their advantage to move funds around the world.
It moves quickly. It moves cheaply. All our victim has to do is push a button on their phone and they've transferred hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But
we're normally dealing with scammers and helping law enforcement go after people. We've now seen very many cases where entirely AI created identities, documentation, passports are being used. That's not something we've had to tackle in the past.
And this problem is expanding around the globe. According to the United Nations, the scammers are often migrants trafficked into Southeast Asia and forced to work under threats or use of violence.
Now, crypto scamming is now a huge business run by criminal gangs controlled by the Jesuits. And I've said this before, all international criminal gangs are run by the Jesuits because they are the ultimate criminal gang. And these scams, this network of scams is stripping people of their life savings. People are suiciding after losing large losses in crypto scams. Society is being fractured by people's inability to support themselves due to these losses. There is a trickle-down effect occurring that is going to come back and bite everyone sooner or later. It's already happening. Beware of the scamming programs that have tricked many. Now, all of this is by design. This is not happening by chance. We are watching the deliberate impoverishment of once wealthy societies because of digital technologies. AI programs, or whatever they are, machine learning, are helping to facilitate these crimes. Now, there's no such thing as independent, independent hackers out there scamming people. All these scams are controlled. They're all organized by criminal gangs. So, if you have believed that these hackers are romping around everywhere, scamming people independently of controlled organizations, then you are deluded. You're deceived. It's not the case. This network of crypto scamming operations are all heavily organized with the purpose of destroying society and taking people's savings away from them, leaving them with nothing. Nothing takes place in this world serendipitously or by chance. Remember, the Jesuits are the sorcerers and have created the illusion, the matrix, that everything is being driven by the natural order and by progress, by people's choice through the media. Now, that is a total lie. Nothing is being driven by the natural order or by human progress or by chance. Nothing. The Jesuits are the master planners and conspiracists, and everything that has happened in this world for the last 200 years at least was 100% planned by the Jesuits in advance. The Jesuit bankers can flip the switch at any time, but they are holding off and waiting. Waiting for what? They're waiting for the singularity to occur when the population of marked people reaches a certain threshold of no return. And we've already reached that, people. So why they haven't flipped the switch yet is simply because it's just not time yet. It's all about timing. Everything is about timing. And the Jesuits are the master timers. They could flip the switch at any time prior to June the 3rd in order to pressure the masses to vaccinate more quickly and hook up to the blockchain system. And no one knows the Jesuit plan, but one thing is certain: the Mark vaccine implant and the blockchain go hand in hand to seal the slavery of those who have been vaccinated. These two technologies are inseparable and critical to forming the last Luciferian New World Order worldwide. Jesuit-style reduction prison camp in history. Let me read that again. These two technologies, Mark money and Mark, are inseparable and critical to forming the last Luciferian New World Order worldwide, Jesuit-style reduction prison camp in history. We're almost at the end, people. Cryptocurrencies are the bridge to total blockchain digital money and slavery. If you have eyes to see, then this will become evident. The Black Pope is the shadowy bridge builder standing behind the White Pope, whose title is Pontifex Maximus, or Supreme Bridge Builder. The White Pope is also a Jesuit. They are together building a digital bridge that leads to a worldwide open prison camp or gulag. Every person with the mark point of sale implant will connect to the IoT blockchain as just another digitized hybrid thing and not as a person made in the image of God. Now remember, I wrote this in 2021. And that was more than 4 years ago. And look where we are now. Everything is now unfolding before our eyes. The truth is, digital money has been with us since the introduction of credit cards. Back in 1950 with the Diners Club card introduced in that year. 1950. By 1958, Bank AmeriCard provided revolving credit, and with the widespread introduction of computers, digitized money became a normal way of life by the 1980s. Yes, the credit card is a form of digitized money. It should come as no surprise, really, that the next big step would be total digital. Governments are always after more control, and digital money gives them complete control. If you no longer have physical money in your hand, then you are a slave to whoever has and controls the computer system, the programs, the internet, your money. It's very simple to understand. It's not difficult. A credit card or cell phone wallet is worth nothing unless you are given permission by an authority to connect and use it. The changes to the money system have been incremental and gradual up until recently. That is soon to change as cryptocurrencies have already been adopted by masses of the younger generations. They don't even give it a thought. The Jesuits know that slow is better than fast. Yes, it is. When it comes to humans, slow is better than fast if you're trying to deceive people. When changes occur slowly, people don't notice them. But we are getting to the end of slow. The trap has already been set and is ready to be sprung on an unsuspecting mankind. A monetary reset is about to occur, so get ready. Now, the last 4 years have been very frustrating for me because I knew this was coming, but it wasn't coming fast enough for me. 4 years seems like an eternity when you're waiting for the end to arrive. But it's almost here, people. What I've been talking about for the last 5 years is almost here. Now, who could have known that it would take almost 16 years for cryptocurrencies to become a thing? But that's almost one generation. Just enough time to deceive the younger generation who are godless and oblivious to the warnings in God's Word. Even God's people have been using digital money in some form for most of their lives, yet it isn't even real. It is a fantasy propagated by electronic blips on a computer screen. There is no real value behind digital money. Nothing. It's the emperor's new clothes all over again. Now, digital beast money and the digital beast mark implant in the body are converging daily. 4 years ago, people were mocking me. Where are those mockers now? We are literally watching the mark of the beast slide into view hour by hour as the American dollar is replaced by digital currency and most likely by beast Bitcoin. Now, I say American dollar only because American dollars are the worldwide currency. They are world currency. So I don't have to talk about Canadian dollars, Russian rubles, or British pounds. I don't have to talk about any other money. I just have to talk about American dollars because that has been controlling American business and banking, world business and banking since the Bretton Woods Conference after the Second World War. Now, the message to God's people is be vigilant and be prepared both spiritually and materially. If you can, try to store 3 or 4 weeks of dried food and water in your home. This will act as a buffer of some kind when the system flips, and it is going to flip at some point, and then we will not be able to pay bills or buy and sell commodities. Do not deceive yourself into thinking that this is not going to happen. It is here now and imminent. This event has been coming at us slowly all our lives, whether we understood this or not. Now it is here. It has arrived. It's on our doorstep. If you are listening to this message and are not a Christian, not saved, not born again of the water and the Spirit, not tested or injected with the COVID vaccine technologies, then I urge you to repent and turn back to God. It is not too late to exit from the dark TikTok beast world matrix reality we now live in. Please consider carefully where you are at spiritually right now and do what God is telling you to do. Don't wait. If there is ongoing sin in your life, then get rid of it. Just stop it. You know what you are doing wrong. You don't need me to tell you. Your conscience is telling you what is wrong. Stop sinning. Obey your conscience. Stop sinning and get right with God today and stay right with Him. Get rid of all false teachings also, because time is very short. Thank you for listening, and I pray that God will continue to open your eyes as you search for the truth on all things regarding the will of God for your life. I'll put all pertinent links in the description box below. Please share this information with others as you're able so that many more, well, maybe not many more, but some might be awakened to the reality of this evil world system before this all finishes. As I've been saying in previous videos, this could be my last one. I don't take it for granted. Things are changing rapidly, people. So this could be my last video. All Truth Online is going to go. So get ready for that and don't be shocked or surprised when it happens and when you're having difficulties accessing things. Don't be shocked. Don't be surprised. It's going to happen. I pray that God would keep and bless you all in the perilous days that lie ahead. And I encourage you to keep the joy of the Lord deep in your heart. Meditate on God's word day and night. Be focusing on God's word and His promises to you and I as God's people. That is what is going to keep you from becoming anxious and depressed. That is what is going to keep you at peace and the joy of God bubbling from deep within you. God's word. That's the key. Focus on God's word. Keep your eye on the times. Keep your eye on the signs of the times. But keep your nose in God's word and keep yourself focused on His promises to you and I. God bless you, and I hope to see you in another video.